Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Todd at Big Cat Rescue. We're just here to have a good day, talk about some kitties. What are y'all doing tonight? Holman. Come on, let's talk.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, Holman, let's talk about it.
Oh, God.
That's great. That's so bad, but it's great.
Oh.
He got a stimulus check and bought him a big old tiger cub. He went all out.
Here, they're really not that much.
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. Stimulus package. Perfect.
Just right down the street from me, too. Not very far away at all.
I could definitely see Hallman going over there and petting some tigers.
Oh, my wife already took the kids down there when that was all going on. I've got pictures of my kids down there with them.
Can you imagine if they were still open, how long the line would be to get into that place? I bet it'd be ridiculous.
My wife said that they were having another episode was coming out.
There is. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I spotted that last night. I got it sucked in pretty quick, too.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one, Castledine. That was a good one.
I wasn't ready for that. Wasn't ready.
Hey,
I
man.
wasn't either. That was really good.
Hey, I'll just throw this in there. We're all probably going to get a phone call like we did the other night, so let's just make it 2 phone calls. I'll get a call from Carol. So, hey guys, if I'm not here in a week,
tiger bait.
Yeah.
Tiger bait.
So.
Hey, if you'd have come out in a blonde wig, I feel like it would. That's the only thing that could have made it much better.
I guess I just saw this. Look at this blanket, man.
Oh my gosh! You should wrap it up.
I just didn't even know we had this thing. Look at this. I didn't even know that looks just like her pants she wears.
I wasn't really paying that close attention to her pants, but evidently you were.
Dude, they made a big deal about it. She wears these freaking crazy looking, I
know her golf cart is covered in that.
Which is really strange because it kind of depicts the fact that they're cleaning leopards, and it doesn't make really a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, she's
save
crazy.
the tiger, but where tigers, you're a leopard. I don't know, whatever.
She probably makes more money now than she was making, but it's sad. It's terrible that anybody sends her money.
Yeah, that's all a big racket anyway. It's crazy.
I mean, a lot of stupid people out there.
Hey, speaking
I'm gonna tell
of
you
that,
this. I do know this just from all that stuff. She's a nonprofit, so if anybody wants to look at the millions she's making, dude, her tax return public record, just go pull them up. I've looked at them; they're quite impressive. It's sad. It really is.
Well, I mean, I coming from a social media background, if you just look at her social following and the amount of money, she even mentions on there how much one check from Facebook was.
Oh yeah.
Like $20-something thousand.
She makes millions. Millions.
It's straight ridiculous how much money she makes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We can all wish that we had that social following. I can promise you that.
Well, Todd's headed off in the right direction.
Yeah, man, I'm one step closer.
Yeah, no doubt. Wasn't ready for that. Oh my gosh. Well, that's how you start bass angler therapy with a bang. Jeez.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you got on the agenda tonight, boys?
Oh, I've got something very interesting.
Do you want to start? Because we got.
Should we start with that, or should we start with something else?
Y'all been working on stuff without me?
Let's start with something else because it'll lead straight into that.
No, that's true. That's true. We don't want to get Hallman all worked up before it all starts anyway.
As soon as I bring this up, we're going to get them worked up. It's totally
no doubt.
related. We'll talk fishing in a second. This is fishing related. But I was hacked about 2 days ago. Was it last night? 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago. Semi-hacked. Someone got on my Facebook and started chiming in on. Look at Hallman. He's getting worried, I think. Started chiming.
And he's already having a drink. He's like, I don't know if I can handle this conversation.
And apparently someone hacked into someone else's account and started making comments on mine. And it got pretty comical. By the time we figured out it was not real. But It's kind of real. I mean, you want to go ahead and talk about it, Hallman?
Your account
Yeah.
on your page, it's been like there for a year, a picture that's never been
Been
anything
like
done
that
to
for a
it.
year. I had one comment in 1 year, and all of a sudden, yeah, Jason. Well, how are we going to start this off? Because I know Luke said something about it one time on his, and he got tons and tons of comments after he said it like 1,000 times that this is not the
Really?
Jason Christie from Oklahoma. Oh yeah, he would like repeat it over and over and over again, and still.
Well, you got punked by Jason Christie that really wasn't the real IE and wasn't the real Christie with a Y either. It wasn't either one of them.
No.
But I do think that I think it's Randy Flowers.
It's rain.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard to say. I mean, it could be anybody. I mean, I'm not gonna name drop names or anything, but
yeah.
it could literally be anybody.
I got one
Um,
name I think it could be, and I just think he's bored. I think,
Well, I mean, we're all quarantined. I mean, like,
yeah.
what else do you have to do?
But it was pretty. He was pretty funny. He was pretty. It was pretty comical.
oh no, he's legit. Yeah, no,
Well,
I thought it was all in.
I actually the last today I've looked around a little bit, and he's actually made some posts on others.
Has he?
Oh yeah,
Not just Wesley Strader's. There's actually quite a few more that he's made.
Really?
he showed up. Yeah,
Oh yeah. He actually showed up on one of Zona's posts and asked when Zona was going to call him. Not even kidding. It says, "Hey Zona, I'm still waiting on my phone call."
he paid me a little visit last night too, but
Did
we
he?
had to. Yeah, I had other things going on. Y'all know me. I'm not. They could get on mine and make 20 comments, and I wouldn't see it till 3 days later. But yeah, I Randy Flowers and read. I enjoy reading the stuff. It's always been funny.
Well, we don't know it's him though.
No, you really don't. I mean, there's so many like knockoff accounts. Like it could be anybody. Like that's the thing about this fishing industry. I think
I,
everybody is super bored right now. I think that's
whoever it was, their jig game was pretty strong, no doubt.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know what we're talking about, Jason Christie with a Y, the guy that fishes the FLW tour, someone hacked into his account and started chiming in on. And I will give him this. Like, I find certain things really smart, right? And the way he started off talking on mine was all he wrote was who. No question mark, no, just the word who. And I was like, it was easy enough for me to just respond back with, of course, what. I didn't put a question mark. I was hoping he'd go who, what, when, where, why, and I was just going to leave it alone. But I mean, he went straight into why that me and Hallman had retired and something something else. It got pretty comical, and I mean, all I know is I was on the phone trying to get some stuff done with FedEx for like an hour, and all I did was put what back, and by the time within 30 minutes, my phone is blowing up. I look down there, I got 30 comments on my Facebook page, and I don't even know. I mean, just people are chiming in. Y'all are all chiming in.
I was first. I'm
Right,
gonna go ahead and take credit for that.
like, I've been on hold for like an hour with FedEx, man. So I was like, I was not getting that call dropped, So I was like, what is going on? But yeah, so it got really, really comical. And the only bad thing is apparently he found out, Jason did, and got all upset like he does. And nothing was even bad said in it.
He get upset with you?
No, with me. He
No.
caught somebody else trying to get them in trouble, talking about how they're going to call their boss like he did with Luke Duncan and everyone else.
And Mike Iaconelli and everybody
Yeah,
else that he's had run-ins
it's
with.
ridiculous. And he wonders why people do all that. It's because he acts the way he does. I have had Randy Flowers has jacked with me. There's been like, you got to take it with, you just got to take it with some stride and go on, man, because it's kind of like what you were being taught in school. You get taught in school, like you get bullied, you either laugh back or you do the other. And usually if you laugh back, they leave you alone. But he ain't learned that in school, apparently.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. Like, I mean, he's come after people's sponsors and talked about calling this person, that person, whatever. Uh, but I hadn't seen anybody threaten him to do anything. I mean, all they've done is point out facts, and I'd have never known facts being against the law.
Now,
Unfortunately.
look, we're talking about why, not IE, right?
Oh
No
yeah.
one ever
Oh
talked
yeah.
about Jason Christie from Oklahoma.
I talk about Jason Christie from Oklahoma just because
We talk about
he
him.
lives right
If
down.
we're going to talk about him, dude, I'm all in. Let's talk about him.
It's like
We
the
talk trash
utmost
on
respect.
him.
But
Oh yeah.
we're talking about the guy from. We don't even know where he's from. I couldn't tell. I
I
would
think
love
he's
to
from
tell
like
you,
Arizona originally
yeah,
or
I would love to
California or
tell
something.
you his stats on FLW, but I mean, look,
I mean, first and foremost, we're not going to ram the guy and talk about how he's struggled on tour because we all have bad tournaments, and that's just what it is. Like whatever. Um, you know, the deal is we're all a big community of people. I mean, although it seems like the fishing industry is this humongous thing, it's really quite small. Um, and if you can't like bust somebody's balls and give somebody a hard time from time to time, then just kind of takes the fun out of it. I mean, because Todd gives. I remember I was leading a tournament. Holman, you don't know about this, but I was leading a tournament going into day 2 or day 3 on Rayburn, and it was day 3, and Todd comes in, rolls in, and wins the tournament. It's a Costa,
I
and he
was there.
wins it. Yeah, he wins it, and I
you
was
were
leading
leading.
after day 1 or day 1 I was.
Oh,
Day
day
2
one.
I was day 2 I was the second
Jason
because I
was.
think Bonds was in
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
And Todd's like, "Oh dang, you've led like 3 of these, and you can't seal the deal. All I have to do is come in and win." I was so mad. I wanted to punch him right in the throat. I was so
You should have.
pissed.
You should have punched him.
Probably should have.
But
I only had about 103 temperature that day for like the last, throwing up during the national anthem, like puking. Mike
oh
Collingwood
yeah,
going over
I
there.
remember that, dude. It was so funny.
Mike Collingwood walking up to Ron Lamp and going, "Hey, is Todd gonna be all right? Because he's over there throwing up in the woods." Ron's like, "Yeah, he'll be fine."
He
He'll be
he
all
called
right.
it was for day 3. He goes out and catches a Rayburn Super Freak. What'd you
Yeah,
have, a 9 or 10 on the third day or something?
yeah,
I-
yeah. He rolls up, makes one cast, reels it in, leaves the spot, and's like, "Ah, I better go back and make one more cast." Rolls back over there and casts up there and catches like a 10-pounder.
I caught it.
Whatever.
I had big, like Jason had a 10 on day 1. I had big bass on day 2 with like a 9 something, and then caught that one. So I caught like back to back 9 to 10 pounders on back to back days.
See, I had a 9 on day 1. I had
Yeah.
a 9 something, a 9.3, 9.4.
Jason had that 10, so he had big bass.
He's like, I thought it was a 6-pounder. I remember him even describing. He's like, yeah, I just drug it through the grass and
He did.
whatever. How do you think a 10's a 6?
Uh,
Like, let's be honest, Todd. How many times have you thought a 6-pounder was a 10-pounder?
okay.
Yeah.
That shallow. That shallow.
One time, I was fishing with John Salamone and his boss like we were trying to get something done, and there was this fit. I was on Toledo Bend in the back of Crease Creek, and I was supposed to take him out and everything. I finally talked him into going sight fishing, and we go around. I see some 2-pounders, and I look way up there, shallow. It's way on up there though, and I just happen to. I'm like, oh, there's a big one. So I power pole down, and we sat there and fished for it, when I threw up there, I was like, oh, she'll bite. So, I was letting him flip, nothing. He's like, hey, let's go. It won't bite. I'm like, hey, dude, it'll bite. It'll bite like instantly. And so I waited 10 more minutes, and he threw up there and he was missing the bet. All this. Long story short, we get done, and I said, hey, man, like I was like, hey, just go ahead and catch it. And he's like, no, he kind of was getting angry a little bit. He was like, no, you catch it. I want to see if you can do it. I'm like, all right. And I can see John Salamone like shaking his head, like, don't do it. But you pushed me hard enough. So I flipped back in there and it bites. I said, are you sure? He's like, yeah, set the hook. I set the hook and I'm reeling it on in. And I really did. I didn't know how big it was, but I thought it was like 6 or 7 pounder. It goes in the net. John nets it. I don't know why. Or we're going to net it for him. And he nets it. And all I know is remember him, he nets it. And I'm sitting over his shoulder, right? Like he's in front of me and he nets it. And all I see him is he turns back around like this and gives me the worst look in the world. And I was like, what? Because I couldn't see it. And he brings it in. I'm like, oh, that's a big one. It's sitting over there on my wall right now. What the replica is, because
Yeah.
it's when over 10 they give you a replica. It's 11:33.
How in the world was it that deep or was it murky?
Oh, it was in like a foot and a half. Dude, we were probably. I'll put it to you this way: he had a hard time casting to it. Like that's how far away I saw it.
You were
I never really got close to it, and it was 11:30.
I mean, but that's another thing. But Bond saw that fish closer than that in practice.
Yeah. In a tournament, I'm gonna find out how big he is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just gonna go because I had a 1-flip 7-pounder or 6. It was like a 6 3/4.
He's short.
He is short.
He's like Dakota.
I mean, I'm short though. Like
he's like Dakota short.
Yeah, he is like Dakota short. Dakota Eber. In case you don't know, Dakota's like he's pretty short. He's a good fisherman, but he's short.
Yeah.
He might be. Is he the shortest? Is Dakota the shortest, or is that McCall?
Didn't we cover this last time?
I don't know.
It's always
we did.
It's always good.
It seems like it always comes up.
I just don't remember who. Well, I know, but I just don't know who the shortest that we fished against was. Oh no, I know who it is. No, I better not say. You know who it is.
Dakota's up there.
You were fixing to say, and then you bit your tongue. I know exactly who you're fixing
Oh
to say.
God, he has to sit on a phone book when he's driving this.
We're not even live, and my phone would start blowing up if we start talking about it. He would know.
Maybe I'm thinking about someone else now.
No, this is bad. Anyways, so hey, Castledon, can I jump into this now? Like, can I go ahead and yeah, why not? So Hallman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention any names.
What did y'all do? Did y'all get together and put together this program without calling me for the last 2 or 3 days? Because y'all got this plan out that I don't know anything about.
Listen, when you got 9 kids at home and you're homeschooling them all day long, and it's hard to get a hold of you, and you show up on our meeting 7 minutes.
That's true. True story.
You just don't get included in things.
Yeah, okay. You didn't get included in this one, there, boss.
Fair enough.
I gotta find it. Just give me a second.
Included in this. He's the main. He's the main headliner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. Let's see. Oh, here it is. All right, Hallman. So remember the name I told you the other day?
No.
You will.
All right. Let me know when you can read this.
I'm never going to be able to read it, I don't think.
What it says.
I just see a picture of a guy bent over holding the giant.
Okay,
I can read it right there.
Stop right
Wish
there.
that Bradley Hallman guy could catch. Whoa, what did that just say? Come back. Hold on. You got to talk so that your screen will get big on mine.
Yeah, talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just talk.
Yeah, let Andrew talk. All
right, can you hear me?
Keep talking.
How about now? Will you stop talking and your screen won't blow up? Can you hear me?
He wishes the truth. That thing said, yeah.
Wish that Bradley Hallman could catch them as good as me, .. He wishes, hashtag the truth.
And who's that from?
Remember that Okie angler that we were talking about the other day? That you got bombarded on the boat dock about?
You got to be kidding me. That guy sent that to you?
I got it right here, boss.
That's from him? Or somebody made that up?
No, that was on his Facebook post. You didn't see that?
No. Are you serious? What's his name again? I'll look it up.
I ain't saying his name was on the recording right now.
I've got to look up something else to remember it.
That'll take him all day long.
Oh, he's under Pro Angler. He's a professional angler too. Hey, I heard this guy was killing it.
I mean, and he called you out. I don't know, man.
I don't believe that's on his Facebook though.
Might be his Instagram. When you're that good, you got multiple accounts.
He might have deleted it, but I screenshot it. I got it right here.
Yeah, I don't buy that. But if he did, more power to him.
He said he messaged me because I messaged him. I was like, man, that was bold, dude. And he told me, he was like, 10K on the spot. Let's go.
10K.
10K.
And all you're allowed to throw is a BFE.
The BFE.
On what lake? On what
No,
lake?
he gets to pick the lake, and he gets to throw an umbrella rig, and all you get to throw is a BFE.
Dude, this is what I heard. I heard that he makes $1,000 a day on guide service, and that he's the greatest. I heard he invented Garmin Live Scope.
Might have.
Yep. I would fish. I'm not even going to go here. I don't believe you.
We're just
there, I will go off. I'll go off. I'll fish $1,000 a day. We can just change lakes.
We're just messing with you.
Like
We're messing with
$300,000.
you. We're messing with you, Hallman. Oh my gosh, it's so
He
good.
sent me that the other day, and I started laughing because I was like, "Who is this guy?"
If
So I didn't know much about it.
the only reason I didn't, I mean, like that makes no sense because I don't even know the guy. I've never said anything to anybody about him.
Oh,
I
no,
never even heard his name until the other day when I made that video, and that was on the side of anyway. So yeah,
I just texted. I texted to you just so you know that I modified it. But it's funny, and now everybody at home won't understand this, but it's funny because I did the exact same thing to Jason Bonds, with an interaction that he had at Amistad, and he believed it. And you want to talk about somebody that's head about popped off? That guy's head almost blew off. And my skills of Photoshop were not nearly as good at that point. So
They were still pretty good because I mean,
they were still pretty good.
yeah. In how that whole thing,
This is really good. If you would have just said it to me and not done it on the show, and if you wouldn't have said the other day, it would have changed things because, like, I think someone would have said something to me by now. I think.
Oh yeah, you'd have definitely had somebody say something to you. That's good though, isn't it? If I'd have sent that to you, I sent to Todd first. I said, "Should I send this to Holman? I don't want him to lose
I
his
may
mind."
post this on I may post this on mine tomorrow. So
oh god. Hey, so what's funny is that someone called me up the other day and was like, "Hey, this was like 2 days ago. Like, hey, it was right after all this. It was like the next day. So now was this yesterday? Andrew, you'll know what I'm talking about." And it was like, "Hey, I have a social media meeting
Yeah,
by by a company," and I'm like,
it was by
"Okay,
Strike King. It was
yeah, it's
by
by
Strike
Strike King." But I was like, she's like, are you involved with that? I'm like, no. I'm like, I hadn't got anything about that. So, because whatever. And I was going through, and I had to check my email man, I go like 5 days without checking my email. Like nothing really isn't that important on my email usually. And I get it. I'm like, oh, I am involved with the Strike King social media meeting. I talked to Copley about it. And it's not a big deal, but I mean, it was just funny because I was like, oh, I've been doing good on social media. Chances are, though, with us doing this and us goofing around on Facebook, I would think, but you got to admit, most of the people that know us, I would say
They expect
75% of it know Randy Flowers. They know the situations of everything. It's the people who don't know, but I don't, what I'm saying? I would say most of them most of the ones that follow know everything, because when even on my post, no one got on my post and go, hey, who are y'all talking about? Or like every single person that posted knew, like knows the background, the situation, the whole thing. Like not one person like put a question mark on there like, what's this guy talking about? So I mean, it's kind of
well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. The fishing industry, it may seem large, but it's actually, we're all kind of tight knit on all this stuff.
This was really good, Andrew. I give you props on that, dude.
Yeah.
You did a good job. Like, if you'd have just sent me that in a text right now and then let me talk about it instead of trying to read it through there, I'd have been like, dude, what? Yeah.
It's wrong, but I can't help it.
The dude is crushing them. I mean, he crushed them. He went out with some friends of mine. He went out with Chad Warren, and they had like 40-something pounds. But, I mean, I know what the deal is. I know how they're doing it. I know why they're doing it. I know that they're in a little bitty area. Guy caught him at Grand Lake in like a trot and a skeeter, but I understand Grand, and I know what's going on there. And there's like 2 little bitty ponds of clear water, and there's 30 boats in there. And they're on the bank, and he's out in the middle of that little bitty pond with that live scope. And dude, I get it. I know what it is. Throw an A-rig out there, bring it over top of their head. If there's 2 of them, it's game on. One of them's eating it for sure. If it's one of them, then you play the little game. I get it. And the deal with the Garmin is can you keep them lit? Can you keep them lit up? That's the deal. That's what separates 100%. The guys that are really good from the guys that aren't. Is a guy that can keep the live scope and keep that fish lit up. And what I mean by lit up is you can't keep dropping him out of that cone. These guys will want to hear this that are watching this because that's what it is. You've got one, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Andrew. You know, when we're doing it with crappie and whatnot, it's all about keeping that fish lit up. And that's the hard thing. But
Yeah, because the more you can see them, the more you can target them efficiently. That's
110%. And you know how they're reacting to your bait, and then your bait comes into that window, and you see how they react, don't react, where your bait's positioned to that fish as it comes into that window. You know, I mean, they want to feed vertically. They want to go up. They're not wanting to look down or go down.
Todd, you don't know this, but at the Texas Team Trail, when we weighed in our whopping 10 pounds or 11 pounds, whatever it was, I think it was 10 pounds. The first place we pulled up to, I caught the first couple, 2 or 3, off of live scope out deep. You know, I'm sitting there fan casting around. I'm like, oh man, I know they're here. And we're scanning around. We'd find them. There'd be 3 or 4 of them. I'd throw Carolina rig out there and drag me out. He's going to it. And you'd see the whole school swim over to the Carolina rig and one would eat it and you'd catch it. And then to be a 15-incher. It was really cool. It was super cool to catch 15 inchers when Danny Alves caught 40, whatever.
49.
Ridiculous. 49.
49.
I almost said 43, but 49, that's just ridiculous.
If we hadn't had this, and of course right now is not the time of year with the spawn and everybody going to the bank, but you're really going to see it this fall, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a big-time player that's never played before. When we get these tournaments scheduled later in the year instead of where we've all been fishing in the spawn and then introduce Garmin Live Scope, you're going to see some national events won out in the middle of the lake doing crazy stuff that you've never seen before. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. And the guys that are doing the homework with it, and homework is crappie fishing with it a lot. I know Matt Panger spent. I was worried about the boy. I didn't think he was going to quit crappie fishing for a while. But that's where you start honing your skills, is chasing them around because they don't swim as fast, you know, and you've got them closer to the boat and all these things. But once you kind of get that honed in, then you're trying to chase a fish that's 50, 60, 70 feet away from the boat. It becomes much tougher. Much tougher.
Yeah, see, that's the ones I chase anyway. I mean, they're hard to see. You got to really pay attention, but like, golly, you can catch them so easy if they're that far out and you see them. Yeah, Todd.
What I've noticed is if I get two of them on a screen, it's really easy, like guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Don't start with me.
I know. I wish Todd had one, but I'm glad he doesn't, because then he'd take our money even more.
I'm trying.
We're quarantined, man. Like,
yeah, I've been trying a long time before then too.
I know it happens. Hey, it's a popular product right now. That's what it is.
It is.
Unfortunately,
it is.
That means more competition. But the thing is, that means other companies are about to start coming out with even more, and everybody's having more time to spend on it right now because nobody's at home. So everybody's in the factories and doing all that kind of stuff, working and trying to figure things out. So I think
look at Castle Rock. Look at Castle Rock adjusting that light he's got.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, I got to get this light in. Like,
look,
I think it made him more tan. Whatever light bulb he's using is like a tanning bulb. Like it makes him darker.
It's been 80 down here. It's been like it was 88 the other day, and I've been fishing.
It snowed here.
I'm fishing.
That's cool.
Been for the last 3 days, but other than that, I probably am going 5 days a week.
No joke.
Yeah, a lot.
That's impressive.
Like I'm going more fishing now than I probably have in like the last 7-8 years.
Yeah, I'm going less than I have in the last 7 or 8 years.
I'm going a lot more.
I agree with that. I'm going less. It's kind of depressing.
Like here's what's crazy. So I've been going a lot, and normally, like y'all know this, man. It's no surprise. I go sight fishing on every single lake in the springtime.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll tell you, I'm the worst springtime fisherman alive. Like I'm horrible at it because all I do is go sight fish. So I don't really know how to go catch. Like I'll probably caught less than 10 fish in my lifetime in the springtime on a Cinco. Right? I don't go throw one. I don't do any of that stuff. So I had to go to Rayburn the other day, and I tried to go sight fishing, and it's really not fun sight fishing if it's not good. Like you might be able to win a tournament, right? But you might only find 5 a day, and it's just not that much fun to go do. So I tried to go do it and caught like 1 or 2, and they were good ones. Like they were over 5, and but it was just hard and it wasn't good, and I got bored. So I started actually going and trying to catch some fish, and after about the second or third day, I've only spent 3 days, 3 days, dude. My third day was like I think I had 28 pounds fishing. It was
Oh
the
wow.
same day I saw that guy that I videotaped that
Oh
guy,
yeah.
a 9-pounder. But and I tell him on video, he's like, I was like, yeah, man, I caught one like 7.5, 8 right before that. And then 5 minutes later, I catch a 9 or 8.5, almost 9, right like 5 minutes after I videoed him. I think I had like a big bat, but like I called up Russell and I was like, hey man, I kind of know how to catch them in the springtime now. Like it's took me a while, man, because I'm just not used to like looking. I mean, I just want to go looking at them.
Yeah.
So
It'll kind of change you a little bit. You go out there and start fishing and start catching big ones.
yeah,
The only problem is it'll suck you in though, because you might go out there and catch 10 pounds just as much as you'll go catch 28 pounds. I promise you,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane.
No, I agree. We've been catching big ones though. Me and Jason figured something out on a little lake the other day that it's been like every day we freaking caught big ones.
Yeah, you and Jason, but y'all hadn't fished against me and Hallman yet at Texoma,
Okay,
and y'all aren't ready.
okay.
It's okay.
So we already got it figured out. Jason's good to go next Thursday, Friday, guys. Right? So next Thursday, Friday, I'm all in. As long as like the weather looks semi, like I don't want to go up there if it's like what they had up there going on the other day, of
Yeah.
freaking blowing. I think they sunk 2 boats up there. Actually, did
I'm
y'all
sure
see
they
that?
did.
They
No, I
sunk
didn't
2
see
boats
that.
up there.
I can believe it.
I think so. As
Yeah.
long as it's not something like that, and we get some halfway, just normal days. Next Thursday, Friday, we're gonna. If y'all don't know, we're gonna do that tournament between Holland and Andrew and me and Jason, and like I said, y'all can do whatever y'all want to. If y'all want to stay on the Oklahoma side, that's fine. I don't really care, man.
That's what
Whatever
makes
y'all,
it fun is that we split the river.
I'm totally cool with it. I had some guys message me already and said, "Hey, I'm going out there. I'll let y'all know what the water temp is, and if it
That's
likes."
good. Not one single soul's messaged me. So we'll just go blind. You just keep getting your
Oh
information. We'll just be status quo per usual.
no,
Oh
no.
And
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying he's gonna let all-
am I not right, Andrew? Oh, I ain't
No.
talking to nobody. No, I got 25 messages though.
Wait, I'm gonna go to the
And
same.
talk to a soul though.
He's
Yeah.
gonna go let us know if it's clear and if the water temp, if it looks good.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all know what it is.
Well, Jeff Reynolds and Crete and who else are you talking about down there? Like the best.
Jeff Reynolds don't want in this. We'll crush Jeff Reynolds.
No, I'm asking if they're the ones sending you messages. They're going to give you little updates where the water's clear. Maybe
Oh,
even
yeah.
a couple of where a couple of beds are with some fish over 6 pounds on them.
He's like, hey, Reynolds is like, hey, Todd, here's an 11-pounder underneath this tree.
Yeah.
No big deal. Like, y'all go over there and catch it because,
Reynolds has gotten me over there a couple of times. I got him in the springtime. That's a challenge to you, Reynolds. If I doubt you're watching, you're probably shooting some show with Clark and Wade. But regardless, are y'all
don't even look at that message.
I got to. Is that a group message?
Yes.
Oh, this is Melinda.
No, there's one right above it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No, it's so bad.
Let's show that one here. Look.
Jason's jacked up to go fish it. So I just told him, man, we'll just drive up there that night or that morning, fish and drive. He did say, he's like, are we just going one day? I was like, man, unless it's like phenomenal, and it might be phenomenal where we're gonna have to like stay another day. But yeah, I'm down. So next Thursday, Friday, y'all good?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It everything's so up in the air right now. Like, it's hard to even plan out. I remember, and it seems like a lifetime ago, is that we were planning on coming to Toledo Bend like a week early or a week after for the Texas Team Trail to come shoot on a special little lake to do a sight fishing show.
It wasn't either, man. I had them all. I was like lining them all up to like we were going to go to a different lake every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was going to be good.
Hey, speaking of that, McClellan, did y'all see what Littner and McClellan did today? Did either one of y'all see that on social media? Saw it on Instagram this morning, first thing. So Littner's out in California, McClellan's in Missouri at Table Rock. And I don't know how they did or what they did, but they used Instagram Live, and they basically did a tournament, and they did it MLF style. Of course, both them, but Littner fished his out in California on some lake, and Mike fished his, and then it was total weight, and they had some things. What they did was they let the fans come in and guess the weights, the overs and unders or whatever, and then they sent out and get packages, I guess, to them. But cool idea. I thought it was really, it was different, and they were using Instagram Live to do it.
I mean, we could definitely do something like that.
We need to keep thinking, because this thing can rock on till June, dude. I mean, it might not be till July or August till we see our first derby.
Listen, this thing. So I got a call last week about a tournament. So I'm fishing a tournament Sunday. Just let everyone know, I'm fishing a tournament Sunday.
Right.
The premise of the tournament, and listen, it's got a lot. It's every tournament is this, guys. You can if you sign up and you know the rules, you can't complain, right? Like if these are the rules that are laid out there and you want to join in. So a guy presented me with a deal that he's putting on an online tournament to where anyone can sign up for this thing, right? And you can fish any body of water you want to. Dude, you can go fish your stock pond in your backyard, golf course pond, the big lake, from the bank. It don't matter. And they said it's like a normal tournament, 7-3. He's got it set up on. I don't want to misquote what he has it set up on, but it's a length tournament, right? So
yeah, it's kind of like a kayak tournament. That's how
like
they do their kayak tournaments.
And you measure your biggest 5, and you take pictures of them. And there's ways to check the pictures that you have to, like, you're not given a code until that day. Of what all this stuff. And so they asked me to get in it, and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to. And because I just know how things go, and y'all know this. I mean, like, I don't say I did good or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden you got some guy over there fishing off the bank, and they're gonna be like, that guy's an $80,000 bass boat. But like, I didn't want to get into all that, right?
Right.
So I'm like, man, I'm not going to not try to win, and I'm not going to, like, if you're asking me, I can go where I want to. I want to pick the best lake I know of, right? I don't know what lake that is right now, because, like, it's a toss-up. But I'm going to go to a good lake, and just because why wouldn't I?
Well, is it like a 5-fish length deal, or is it?
Deal. And I told him, I said, hey, look, man, I'll get in it, but, like, I don't really want to, like, I don't want to do it for the money deal. And so we set it up to where it's kind of like he was like, hey, I just want you to, like, compete. Maybe they're going to try to, like, go out there and beat you. And I said, oh, I'm all in on that. So like, it's more of they're still in a tournament, but they're all sitting there. And I said, hey, I'll YouTube the whole thing. I'll video it. I'll send me their pictures of guys with and I'll try to include all the guys that are in it that caught big ones or won or whatever. So I'm sort of in something like that, Holman. It's not. This is the first time, and I said, man, like, let's go see what it's all about, and then maybe it gives us an idea on what we could all do as well.
Well, it kind of opens the door a little bit. We could actually have some of our fans challenge us in a tournament.
Well, that's kind of what I wish
we know enough guys too that, like, Jason, Brent, Kelly.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about all that. Like, I'm not saying that they're not. I just think it would be cool that our fans could sit there and say, hey, you can go fish your favorite pond, your favorite lake. This is all you have to do. Like, give them a simple instruction. Whatever.
I'm trying to cut you off. I'm just waiting.
He's excited.
Well, that's why I want to go live with this deal right here. Because if we were live and we had some kind of feedback where you could read something, then I'm sure there's guys that are watching this that watched McClellan and Littner today, and at least understand how it worked. Because I didn't watch it on Instagram Live, and neither one of them posted on their Instagram post what happened. And so, how do you go back on Instagram and see what even did happen? If it was just on live, does it just go away, Andrew, or what?
No, you can post it on there. You can post live.
They have to post it though. They still have to post it.
Instagram you can only go 2. So 2 boxes. On Facebook, supposedly you can go more than 2, but I haven't figured out quite how to do that yet. I saw an instructional video on it yesterday, but I haven't tried it yet.
YouTube Live, you can go for eons, right? And then it just turns into a...
Yeah, I haven't done it multiple box on YouTube Live yet either. That's my only question. I know you can do 2. But I don't know if you can do 3 or 4 or 10 or whatever. I just don't know.
It's gotta be a way where I don't know how we all do all that.
Well, I know there's guys streaming, like, so there's a lot of guys. I know y'all won't know what this is, but things like Twitch or Switch or something like that, where they're
Yeah.
streaming their gaming, like Call of Duty and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so they'll have like 4 or 5 screens up, and then they'll have their gaming screen up, so you can kind of see everything. You can see like
But
us interacting and their gaming. So there's a way that we can do it.
the
We just
problem
have to
is,
figure it
like,
out.
is as bad as the service is on some of these lakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be hard to
Yeah.
get many
Well,
people.
I'm not saying just necessarily a live of the show, but I'm saying like us together on a, some type of board that we can talk to people and interact with everybody together.
Right.
I think it'd be
Right.
cool. And
Right.
hey, and it, speaking of that, um, there's going to be 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 people watching this. If you know of something, drop it below in the comment section of this video, and you tell us what you want to see. If you want to see more, if you want to see less, if you want us to go live, tell us how to do it. Give us some instruction. It always makes it easier if
Hell
we're
yeah.
told how to
We're
do it.
looking
So, like,
for it, Bubba. I mean,
yeah,
that's exactly what we're looking for.
Because
yeah.
I'm like excited about this Takes Homa thing. Like,
Oh, it's gonna be good.
because
We're
none of
gonna have a
us
good
have
time.
been. Like, we don't even have rules for this thing, right? But none of us have been all year. I mean, when's the last time? Over a year probably since any of us have been. And we're
Probably
literally
2
showing
years.
up that
Yeah.
morning, and dude, we're gonna catch them. Like, we're going.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind it will take over 20 pounds between the two of us to win this thing.
The only way we don't catch them is if the
Well,
Oklahoma side's just straight mud and blown out. That's
Yeah.
the only
That's
way.
the
we
only
don't
way.
catch
Yeah,
'em.
that
That's
could
the only
happen.
way.
But yeah, I was speaking of sight fishing, Holman. I know you told me the other day you were gonna go on the show. You said you were gonna go to a little special lake. I have literally, besides Florida, besides the first term of the year, I've literally caught one bedfish in the last 2.5 months.
Really?
And I've caught the same bedfish 3 times. There's a 4 something on a pond behind my house, and I keep catching it. It's getting harder to catch now, but it's still on the same bed. It has not left the same bed in the last 3 weeks.
That's
And
awesome.
I keep catching. It's the same. It's the exact same fish every time. But
I can't talk about that because I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video about that.
about catching the same fish over and over.
I didn't catch the same. Without giving too much away, we never really caught the fish. I got it on video, and then we semi catch it. Just trust me, dude. It's a crazy thing. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I went back and looked at my old footage, and then when this all happened, I was like, I've seen this fish before, and I recorded the fish like 10 days earlier, and I couldn't catch it. And I never knew why. And then how it's a really insane video, but I was like, it showed how long a fish will stay on the same bed. I just didn't realize it at the time because I talk about it in the video, but I'm gonna release it in like a couple days. About
Hey,
how long
not to get off the subject here, but where did you get that shirt? That thing's straight fire. I've never even seen one.
Which one?
Which one?
Mine.
The one you're wearing.
Yeah. There's 2 of us though. Hold
Yeah,
on.
you. Which shirt are you
I'm pretty
wearing?
sure it's not yours.
I'm sorry, Todd.
Dude,
Todd.
That is not straight fire. That's like straight. I'd
Dude.
light it on fire.
That's like some Oklahoma stuff right there. What is that?
Good.
It's my favorite Falcon shirt. I don't know.
Jason Christie gave it to
how Beckwith.
Yeah. Jason Christie gave it to him.
Yeah, you know how sometimes they'll just send you some stuff like.
No, they don't do that to me. It's kind of like people just message you fishing places. They don't do that to me either, dude. I don't get any of that.
I got it one time. I got like 3 or 4 shirts in the mail and like a couple hats.
Hey, John told me one time. This is honest to God true story. John tells me one time. He goes, "Hey, I sent you and Todd a bunch of hats and some stuff. Whenever Todd meets up with you, you get your stuff from him." And I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "What?"
That could be it. But it's not like
you got a bunch of hats and shirts. That could have been my shirt.
I got 3 shirts and like 3 hats, man. It wasn't like I was gonna.
Oh, he made it sound like it was more than that.
No. Well, what's funny is I think I have 2 of your shirts. You left one of your I gave you back one of your shirts the other day from when we were all there at where we were at
Rayburn.
no, like months and months ago. The one you won.
Oh, Cumberland.
I
Yeah.
think he left his shirt there. I gave it back, the TH Marine one. And then I think you left I don't know, I've got 2 other shirts I think you left at the camp or somewhere else.
All I know is I've got like a couple of your Costa shirts too. So as long as we keep running some of the same sponsors, yeah, we're probably okay. We can keep
Well,
swapping.
no, these aren't even sponsored. These are other stuff. This is
Oh, really?
yeah, like
Hey, we don't need any more details, Todd. It's
No.
okay. I don't know what you found. Hey, I don't know what you found at Hallman's. It's all good, man.
share a room. Me and Hallman were going to share about, I don't know, I'd say about, we're probably going to spend about 50 to 80 days this year together.
Hey, I got a story that these people want to hear.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Well, hold on.
Todd's got to tell it because it's Todd's story because I slept through the whole thing.
Oh, well, hold on.
But he told me about it the next morning. So we go down and we're saltwater fishing with Billy Howe, right?
Oh my God.
Todd's lifelong friend. I've never met him until we go down, super nice guy. Anyway, we stay at Billy's house and Billy's got the setup. Well, the room that Todd and I are sharing has just got one king size bed. Well, Cassadine and I both, we're cool with that. So Todd's got to come back and tell his story though, because I slept through the whole thing. I didn't know what happened.
Todd was good with it
fishing
though.
all day long. We come in at night, like get your showers and stuff, eat dinner, and you go to bed. Well, I've got a sleeping bag and I'm laying up on top, and I don't know Todd.
Oh, I already know.
Not under the sheets, but anyway. So the next morning, I hear him in there talking to Billy, telling this story. He's like, "Dude, I've known Hallman a long time," and he said, "I ain't ever worried about him a bit." He goes, "But last night, it about got real, or I about punched him, or I was like, what? Tell the story."
Man, so like, you ever get one? He's got one. It's a king size. It's not a California king, but it's a big king size bed and everything. So it's like, and like I got my sleeping bag. Holman's got his sleeping bag. He's like, I could roll over like twice and still never even get close to Holman, right? And which is not like, I have stayed in some places with some guys where it's like
tight.
Dude, I've stayed in beds where the 2 beds that are so close, I'm closer to the guy sleeping than I would be if we were in the same bed. Like, it's bad, right? I mean, you've stayed at some of these places where it's just part of fishing, man. If no one understands that.
Yeah, this ain't the Ritz. Like, you don't always get the very best
You
places.
never know, man. We never know what we're getting into, and sometimes as we've gotten older, we choose a little bit more. But sometimes when you're like 19, 20, 21, dude, you just like, give me a place to stay.
I sleep on the floor, do what you got to do.
He showed up at ICAST at Vegas when I was down there, and shows up down there and he's like, I don't even have a place to stay. I'm like, are you kidding? So he stays at with me and Ron. I think
who are you talking about?
Or something. I mean,
me.
Yeah,
like this was like 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Vegas for ICAST, gets there without any reservations of anything.
All right, get to the Billy Howe night.
So
there's no night like the Billy Howe night.
Like, I'm rolled over, like facing the opposite direction. It's like, man, y'all know me. I don't sleep, right? I mean, I wake up. So
no, you don't.
You don't sleep.
And then we're gonna get up at like 4, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's kind of like getting pushed a little bit. I'm like, but like I've only been asleep for like 3 or 4 hours. It's been, but I'm kind of tired. But I'm like, and like something keeps on nudging me, like, and I'm like, dang, Hallman, you got the whole thing, And I was thinking that, and I sat there, and all of a sudden it was like I felt there's something on my ear, and man, I jumped up so. Dude, I ain't gonna lie, it was wet. Dude, this dog had jumped up in the middle of the bed, dude.
He got like a 70-pound lamb.
And I was like, what is going on? I was like, man, because like his dog sleeps in there with him, and I mean, that dog was laid, passed out right in the middle of us, and he had put his head right there and just started licking on my ear. Man, I got up, and that poor dog looked at me as a good little lab too, little fat lab, man. Just looked at me like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Man."
So Todd's first experience is the little spoon. This is basically what that was.
No, he told me first thing in the morning when I got up, he was like, I can hear him in there telling Billy, he's like, I about had to kill Hallman last night. I was like, what happened? And he was like, he started telling the story. He's like, dude, it got closer and closer, and then it was warm. And he said it got wet right around my ear. He said it freaked me out. And I jumped up.
Dude, I was kind of tired, like kind of, when you're kind of in and out and you're like, man, am I dreaming or what's going on? And what's funny is for like the next 2 nights, that dog every morning, Billy's like, I don't know what it is. He jumped. You never hear him get up in that bed, but I'd wake up. He'd be right in the middle of us, just chilling in our bed every night.
Yeah.
And Billy's like, I ain't never seen him do that.
Yeah.
So bad. Oh my gosh.
I remember that. One of these days, Holman, we're gonna release that video because like that was a pretty epic 3 days down there.
It was. Yeah.
It was like the reason we haven't released a video is the video could be like a 5-part series.
Maybe 10.
Dude, we got so much footage of just it's an experience.
Billy Howeism.
Like the whole thing, like from the moment we got there to the moment we left, there was never a dull moment.
No.
We broke into I can't incriminate ourselves on camera, but I mean, do you remember breaking into a establishment? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That sounds kind of sketchy.
Yeah, yes.
We were with Billy Howe. What do you expect?
Billy Howe, it goes. It's the island.
It's the island. So speaking of one thing I sent Todd earlier, Holman, I didn't send it to you. I wanted Todd's professional advice.
You don't include me in nothing. I'm starting to get that I'm the third wheel here in the spoke. You know?
let me say this.
I get it. Y'all are all striking. I get it. I get it.
What?
I ask Andrew for things all the time, and he shoots down every one of I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Man, I probably wouldn't do that. I was so glad to finally get him.
Oh
back.
yeah, he got me.
I wouldn't.
So I took my kid fishing the other day, okay, and I hadn't said anything to anybody about it, and I've really questioned myself on whether or not what I was going to do. But I'm sitting there and he makes this like super long cast, I was very proud of him. I was like, heck yeah, dude, like good job. I don't care if you cast in a tree, good job. And he snags up in a tree, and I grabbed the rod from him. I'm just shaking it, and I'm shaking it soft because I don't want the bait to fly back or do anything, and I'm kind of shaking it soft. And he's standing right there next to me, talking to me like what he does, and the bait flies out of the tree and smacks him right in the cheek, and I mean like smokes him in the cheek. It's a chatterbait. I mean, just nails him. And he lets out this blood curdling scream and like just gets really upset. And I calm him down. And I get him good. And he's like, Daddy, did I have a hook in me? And he thinks he's hooked. He gets hit that hard. He thinks he's hooked. And what I was going to do is post it and not add in the blood curdling scream. And Todd didn't even get to experience that. But just more so as a learning experience for others of, hey, if you get hung, put your kid behind you. Don't let them stand beside you for this reason. Learn from my mistake. And I was like, I sent to Todd. I said, what do you think, Todd? He's like, heck no. Not even like no. And made some good points. And, the deal about the internet, I don't want my kid to turn it into a meme, especially over him getting hurt, because I would stab somebody. If they made fun of my kid while he's in pain. So I'd chosen not to post that, even though if anybody's listening, you have a child and you get hung in a tree, put them behind you. You don't want them to get hit by a flying object or get hung or hooked or anything like that.
I'd have just told mine it was that bitch Carol Baskins.
I mean, basically.
I mean, that's what we teach them in Oklahoma, anyway.
Well, yeah.
Listen, here's
bad.
Here's what I'll say to all that is, without just knocking anyone, because I don't want to put anyone out, but I mean, we put out some videos every once in a while, and most of the guys that watch it are pretty sharp. They'll be like, anyone that thumbs down this video, you absolutely condone this kind of behavior or stuff like that, right? Like it would be where 99.9% of the people think that like they understand what's going on, and then there's that 0.1%, right? And Skeeter Fowler did it the other day where
he did.
He was with his grandson, I believe.
Yeah.
With his grandson, he's got his life jacket on. Everything's right. There's like Skeeter's at zero fault in any of this
Yeah.
whatsoever. The kid's up there being a kid. He's probably what, 3 or 4, 4,
Yeah, around that and
4.
falls in. Yeah.
Yeah, and he does this deal, and he kind of takes a step. He's not even close to the edge, but the kid kind of like does a circle and then kind of like takes a step, and then by the time he could do it, the kid right in the water.
Yeah.
Well, Skeeter jumps over there. Of course, the kid's got a life jacket on. No big deal. Scared him. Skeeter reaches in there, picks him back up, and he posts it like, "Hey, it's a great video because it's like this is how quick a kid could fall in the water."
Absolutely, yeah. The
And
importance of a life jacket. Yeah.
I was like, of course, me looking at him like, "Oh, Skeeter, I hope you don't get. I hope there's no backlash in my head," because I was like, it's really a phenomenal video that should be out there, but people are going to be like, well, that's why you shouldn't have a kid out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you some crazy stuff.
It happens there. I had Grayson the other day, and I was in between some docks, and I just told him, to push off the dock for him back there, to kind of keep the back of the boat from bumping when I was backing back out. And he's pushing on one, and I seen him, he's like all leaned up against it, and the boat's moving away from it. Y'all know what's about to happen, right? Like you got that leverage, and then you're stuck midair. And I was like, let go of the dock, let go of the dock. And he finally listened to me. At the last second when he let go, he stumbles around and he catches his balance. He was like, whoo, I about fell in. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, you can't do that. You got to keep your weight on your feet in the boat.
Well,
I mean, but that's what teaches good boat. I mean, like if they don't experience that with you, if they don't share that experience with you, how are they going to learn anything? I mean, honestly, like I had to learn a lot of those lessons the hard way by getting hooked in the face or getting smoked or falling out of the boat or whatever.
It's gonna happen.
You got smoked.
It's just part of it. It's a sport. I mean, it's no different than breaking your ankle, making a juke move in football. Like bad things happen sometimes, and sometimes it's out of your control. And it's just
I still don't say. I said save the video and maybe post it later.
You did. Well, your first one was no, and then you came back with like save it until later. And I agree. And the bad thing is like we're in a society today of of judging people based off of not knowing all the information. I mean, and I'm gonna go ahead and go on a soapbox here because it's drove me crazy the last few weeks.
Too, so I'll just let you.
The sheer amount of conspiracy theorists and doctors that I have on my Facebook right now, and they're both. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like I just didn't know I had that many PhDs as friends on Facebook that knew so much about viruses and so much about everything. It's actually quite remarkable.
So many.
And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know everything, but I listen to the people who I think do, and I formulate educated opinions on those decisions and like things that are going on. And I don't go so far out left field that I can't even function. So it drove me crazy lately.
You know how the best ones, and I want to go off on something else, but you know how the best ones were like comparing this thing to the flu, like it had literally been in our country for about 3 weeks, and they were like, look at the death toll and look at the flu. And I was like, you do realize it's been in our country for 3 weeks, and you're trying to compare it to something that's made it all around the country.
That we also have vaccines for.
Yeah, and I'm like, and we're comparing things already that you know nothing about. I'm like, why don't you just sit back and I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but like, why don't you just sit back and keep your mouth shut and like see what's going on first before you just start throwing out statistics about things. Like, I don't know what it is. I will say one thing. This is what I know. When Facebook rolled around, and it was a really good point, right? 5,000 friends on Facebook. Does anyone actually on Facebook know anyone that has it?
Yeah.
And for like a couple of weeks, no.
Yeah.
I know firsthand some people that have it. Like
I do too.
And I will say, they, to be honest with you, and they had some underlying backgrounds, but dude, it put them in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so,
I know a kid, like a 6-year-old kid that got it, and her mom got it.
This isn't a friend of a sister.
No, this is a direct friend. Like
this is a direct person that I said, hey,
and they've been in bad shape. like
I
a
have,
6-year-old with no underlying conditions, like whatsoever.
yeah.
Can't breathe, can't function, like whatsoever.
And it apparently is not affecting everyone.
It's not, but that's a virus. Sometimes, crap, my kid got tested for the flu back in like January, had the flu, and literally had fever for 1 day, and that was it. Like I'm not even kidding. He had fever for 1 day. He didn't show any other symptoms. We took him in because it was like 103, and he tested positive for flu, and that was the last day he even had a fever.
Well,
I mean, so like you just never know. Like,
and that's what's going on with social media and being able being able to comment, right? Being able to comment is killing me because even on like my YouTube about that driving when I did at Toledo Bend the other day, I only had one comment, and he was like, "I don't even know what you." Uh, I don't even understand what you're talking about almost getting hit, blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say. I told my wife, and she's like, "You can't say that." And but my point is I was like, there's some people out there that something bad has to happen, right? Like you
yeah,
have to like see the actual wreck and then being like, that was a bad deal. Or you can
yeah.
see someone that avoided the wreck, still showed everything that was bad, and then they're like, I didn't see anything. Like that guy wouldn't have hit you. Well, yeah, of course he didn't hit me. Like,
Yeah.
don't you see that I like veered all the way out of the boat channel and got out of the way? Like, can't you? And your GoPro was like, and I went back to it and I watched it like 10 more times, like myself. And I was like, and I timed it. I timed from a point where I turned to the point where he passed me. And it was under 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's me turning, not even going forward. I'm like, literally, if I'd have waited
A half a
8
second.
more seconds
Yeah.
to a second, it would have been, now we would have been like 30, 40, 50 feet from each other, like
Yeah.
head on. And I'm like, of course you don't. Of course he almost didn't hit me. I got out of the way. Like that's my whole point. But like, man, these people freaking. I'm like,
Well,
you watched that whole
that's
video.
like I told my wife
That's
tonight.
what you got out of the
Trump
video.
Trump like got on today and was talking about like how they're gonna we're past the peak, we're past all this stuff, and great, like whatever. But the this has been going on for weeks and weeks now at this point. And I told my wife, I said, there's so many people that like they think this is fake. They think this is some conspiracy. I told her, I said, I really think it's going to take 1 million people dying for them to even realize how big a deal this is. Like that's what it's going to take. Otherwise, they're going to say it's some big conspiracy, and I hope that never happens.
My
But I
being,
tell you, the other point I wanted to make, and I really want to make this point is, and I'm a conservative. I think Trump does a good job, and I don't care. Like who cares? Like whatever. Trump has said from day one that all this fake news stuff, like whatever, fake news that, fake news this. I see so many conservatives that post all these memes and all these websites that are unverified, that are spouting out the exact same fake news, just what they want to hear, and they're sharing it. So you want to call out all these news organizations for calling out fake news and all this crap, but you're sitting there posting a meme that has absolutely nothing truthful on it, and you're gonna spout it out as truth. Like you're being a hypocrite. And I'm gonna make a post on this on Facebook, and I don't care because I just don't care. But like, it bothers me immensely that you're willing to go in there and call somebody out for fake news in one post, and the next post you're sharing a meme that has nothing factual on it whatsoever, that you can fact check in 30 seconds and know it's not even true, and say, "Oh my gosh, this is so true." Like, no, it isn't. Like, what are you talking about?
look at Holman. He's just got.
Well, I was just thinking, this is coming from a guy who makes fake news to send to his buddies.
Yeah, but I'm not posting off the internet saying it's true either.
That's true, dude. That is a good one, Holman. I'm just laughing because I was like, man, quarantine life for Andrew has got him boxed up. Like he is like.
Like you guys are going off on politics, going off on memes, social media. I was still on Crispin last night talking about how he was going to get a personality check from Melinda. And Randy Flowers is like, I'm with dinner with her right now at Outback.
Man,
Oh,
I just
dude.
like how he asked her out on a date, man. And I
That
was,
was great. That
oh
was
my
great.
God.
I'm with her right now at Outback. She says okay.
Yeah.
That was so good. Oh, that was good.
All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. But
Oh, no.
yeah, quarantine has been rough for me.
Hey, all I know about any of this stuff is just be careful when you write something down about any of this stuff, because it just takes one person to screenshot it, and like 5 months from now, I'll show it back to you and be like, dude, you look pretty stupid at this. Like, you didn't look.
Oh, unfortunately I've unfollowed a lot of people on Facebook the
Yep.
last few weeks. It's gotten bad.
Probably the only thing out of quarantine that I would come out of that would be not politically correct is I do not like Carol Baskin. That's about it. I know that for a
Talk
fact.
about the perfect time for Tiger King to come out, by the way.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
With Tiger
By the
King,
way, Todd, you're going to name that bait Tiger, right? Tiger King, that color.
I,
Dude, that
have
is
to.
it.
I don't think we can. I think it's infringement. I think
all you gotta do is name it like the White Tiger or the Great White
no,
Tiger.
we got some other things we're thinking about, but I mean, I think Tiger King's going to totally be trademark
Yeah.
infringement rights stuff. We looked into it like the next day we started making some phone calls trying to find out. I think it's
Dude, I gave you 14 karat gold, and you're going to throw it out the window.
what I'm not. There's like some laws that say I can't do
There's
it.
some laws.
There's some laws against the word king and tiger.
Dude, I mean, if you put Tiger King together and he trademarks that and it's as big as
Well,
it is.
the crankbait's not gonna have a mullet and tattoos and be a gay guy from Oklahoma. It's just a
carries a
white bait with
sidearm.
stripes on it.
Who said it's not?
It's not. It's a white bait with stripes on it. Looks like a
agree.
tiger.
I agree. Tiger King.
That's like saying that's the Lion King. You can say it's the Lion King as long as it's not a lion taped to a picture that says Lion King above it. I mean, the guy, Tiger King, actually, like, completely infringed on Carol Baskin's, like, copyright and everything that she did.
And he got
still, yeah, but he still didn't even lose.
Yeah.
Until he made it exactly like it.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, Tiger King's exactly like the two words together. Tiger King.
Yeah, but the bait that you're naming, or the color you're naming, it does not have a mullet or an eyebrow piercing that's hanging off of it. Or, I mean, there's a lot of variables there that I think you're okay with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure though with anything that you trademark like that, if you trademark it and it's big enough, you can't just go out there.
I'll tell you how you do it. Is you go Tiger K and then you put 3 stars behind it, and let people just decipher it on their own. Tiger K and then ...
You could do that.
That
G.
bait.
Yeah.
When you held that bait up the other night, dude, it just, I don't know. It just.
Oh
stuck
yeah,
plain
that's
as
straight
day.
up Tiger King.
Yeah.
You almost need like gold hooks on it too, unfortunately.
Dude, some of them gold crappie hook looking.
Yeah, straight gold. Straight gold.
Yeah, the split ring where the line tie is too could be gold. Oh, that would be so awesome.
That would be good.
Yeah.
We'd have to put a whole new package on it too, though.
Call it the Tiger series.
Well, make it to where it's kind of furry. You know what I mean?
Like
Oh my God,
feathers, like peacock, like pink
like
peacock feathers or something.
Fred and Vanna's frog or whatever, the fur on it.
Oh, the fur frog.
Yeah, the fur.
Actually, that concept is actually pretty cool to a certain degree.
What?
Have you looked at it? The idea of that, I just like it. I don't know. It's a good frog. It's not.
Well, then
bad
why don't we
frog.
just put Velcro on our damn baits and get rid of it?
It's basically what it is, honestly.
I'm not fishing for gar.
I am. I fish for anything that swims, dog. And don't act like you don't fish for gar. You fish for anything that swims too. Wrong Fish Wednesday, man.
Dude,
Even though, speaking of Wrong Fish Wednesday, that guy that posted on your Wrong Fish Wednesday the other day,
I probably know him, so be careful.
that lasso that he posted on there, he lassoed basically like some kind of like brown fish. I said that he won on your.
Oh, yeah.
What was that thing? That was the wildest.
I know what you're
Hey,
talking.
you need to drop the picture in this picture, like edit the photo in, like just screenshot it and add it in.
Was it in my?
It was no, it was on Facebook. It had to be on Facebook because you can't comment photos on Instagram. It was great. Holman, if you hadn't seen it, you need to look at that thing. He basically lassoed this thing with his line and caught it. It's the
Really?
ugliest thing I've ever seen. Somebody mentioned what it was in there, and like I've heard of it, but I've never actually seen one. It was
What is it?
disgusting.
A comment?
Yeah, it was a comment on your Wrong Fish Wednesday.
How many hours of the day do y'all spend on your phones?
Actually, I had a
Ooh,
notification the
ooh.
other day that was like 8 hours.
Dude, Dave,
That's so awesome.
look at. Oh my gosh!
Look at that thing.
Tell me
Yeah.
when.
You can screenshot it and bring it back in after the show's over. You'll actually have to do a little editing on this one.
Can you see
Yeah.
that?
That thing is so gross.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
So weird.
I feel like, unfortunately, I've looked at Todd Castledine, professional angler, like 37 times in the last 24 hours because of the Jason Christie
Oh, they
thing.
say it's a mud puppy.
Mud puppy, that's what it was.
That's what we
That's
bass fished with down at Lake Fork back in the day,
Yeah, but
wasn't
that
it?
is that's
We used to catch mud puppies and put them on the end of a 4-aught hook and throw
Yeah,
them
but
out
this
on
thing
the
looks like
Carolina
it's
rig
about-
and catch giants off road beds.
yeah. But this thing looks like it's about 4 pounds and about 3 pounds of it's overweight.
It's straight up disgusting.
Are
Like-
either one of y'all old enough to remember all the bait stores down at Lake Fork back in the day that had all the water dogs, the live water dogs, and you'd go in, they were in these giant troughs? Neither one of y'all.
I never did that whole deal.
Well, you just
honestly.
show up at Lake Fork, and that's all. They were in every tackle store. Live
You know,
bait.
we should do a challenge, a goldfish challenge, and use goldfish as bait.
Don't do a perch challenge with me because I will, in about 2 weeks to 3, around about right now, I could go out there and catch 7 to 10 pounders on perch, and it will be the most fun fishing you've ever done. And it's all live perch, and you can watch
Well, I mean,
watch it happen. And
Well, yeah,
In a couple of weeks, I can go out and catch 7-10 pound perch everywhere. Like greatest fishing you ever done. They're perch 7-10 pound.
huh? No, I'm telling about like they're being on perch beds. We figured like
I know what you're talking
dude,
about.
it's phenomenal. Like the first time I was like, nah, this isn't my style. I don't do that. I did it one day, and it was the most phenomenal thing I'd ever seen before in my life. It was awesome. Dude, when you have perch, when you throw one out there and they get on it, this is what I learned, man. Like this is gonna be in the video. But when they get on it, dude, we would have perch come swim back to the boat on your line as fast as they could. And they'd be like swimming against the side of your boat. And there'd be an 8 to 10 pounder about 3 foot from your boat, hitting your boat where the perch is. Like once they get dialed in, they could care less about everything going on around.
oh yeah, they're gonna eat it, whatever they have to do.
The perch would be on your side of your boat doing this, and the bass is like you can hear it hitting the boat trying to get it. And I was going, okay, well this is something that's pretty awesome. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty cool to watch. Like you know me, I could care less about even catching it. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I mean,
So was that at Rayburn?
it was at another place, and
It was a different lake.
I'm gonna go do it because like it's gonna be all like I
Well,
could have done it the other day because
Well, I mean, there's been some giant bass caught that eat crappie. You know, I mean that was the big rumor at Lake
But I
Fork
can't-
forever.
That's the Lake Fork deal, yeah. All the big bass are always caught off the bridges in the wintertime by crappie fishermen.
Hackney's got a 10 pounder on Rayburn.
That's what I was gonna say. Is Hackney caught a 10-pounder on Rayburn that ate a crappie that he was rolling up. He was shooting a show
Jason
with
had
Mr.
one on.
Crappie.
Jason
Yeah.
had one on the other day. Jason went crappie fishing the other day on Rayburn, and he said he was reeling one in, and he said, dude, he said he had it on there for a long time. He couldn't get it in.
Yeah, see, I had one that was like 9 to 10 on a yellow bass on Toledo Bend. I was jigging a spoon and I hooked a yellow bass and I'm just rolling it in like whatever and it like just stopped. Everything stopped, and I got it about 3/4 of the way to the boat and it come off. But
Dude, my second check of the FLW event ever down there at Harris Chain, I was sight fishing for one. And I was sight fishing for this 2-pounder, right? There was a 5-pounder swimming around somewhere, but man, I done bad the first day. So like I'd gone in there and caught a couple. I think I'd caught 2 at the time, or 3, no 2. And I'm like, okay, there's this fish. And I'm just trying to catch a fish, man. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm in there, you know where I'm at, Andrew. I'm way down the lake in the canals.
yeah,
And I'm fishing for this fish, and there was a PVC pipe down there. It was real deep down a bulkhead. There was a white PVC pipe, and I could just barely see a fish swim past that little pipe. That's all I could ever see. So I'm fishing for like 10, 15 minutes, and I'd see this big one show up every once in a while. And I was like, man, I like to fish for that one, but I can't see it. So about this time across the canal, one starts blowing up on this there's a dock there, and you see like splashes on the dock. And I look over there and I'm like, man, I know what's going on. Like after a perch, my guy's like, hey, it's schooling over there. I'm like, yeah, I know, but man, like I ain't leaving right now. I'm power pulled down. I'm good. Like it's random, freaking stupid, fishy if you're going after a perch. So a couple of minutes go by, all of a sudden you hit, same thing. And I'm like, dang, man, it's still after it. So I go back, and about 30 seconds later, bust in the middle of the canal. But I still couldn't throw there because it was too far. And I was like, dang, man. So I'm kind of looking around, no big deal. And I start flipping back again, and I'm looking, and I'm suddenly kind of out of the corner of my eye, just, looking around, doing whatever. And I see this wake going, the canal split, and this wake is going towards that split. And I'm like, and all you see is this perch on top of the water, waking. And I was like, oh my gosh, but it's behind the boat, and I'm power pulling down in the front. And so I said, my co-leader's like, what do I do? I'm like, I really wanted to throw on it too, but it's kind of behind the boat. And I said, heck, man, throw on it. Well, I reached down and grabbed my brown popping perch at the time. So I picked it up, and he throws over there at it like twice. I said, you mind if I throw? He's like, no, go ahead, man. So I bombed over it. Dude, I bombed over his head to the back of the boat. I asked, and he's like, yeah. And I freaking brought that popping perch up right towards that perch. And as soon as that perch got past that, boop, 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 it was a 7-something. So I catch this 7-pounder, and I get it in, and I'm like, whoa, I just, like there was a gift right there. Like I got a I get right. So I get it in there, and I'm like, I kind of felt bad. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say anything. I asked permission, he gave it to me. So I throw it in the boat, and I run back up to the thing, and Clark Reams island by, and he was like, you got him? I'm like, yeah, man, you'll never believe this dude, the 7-pounder. I was like, the 7-pounder came up, and I was telling him about the 7-pounder. I looked down there, 5-pounder freaking, boop, boop, hop, boop, catch a 5-pounder, throw him in the boat. I catch a 7 and a 5 in like 3 minutes. Were
you still talking to Clark when you caught the 5?
And I catch a 7 and a 5, and I look at him. I'm like, all right, let's go. He's like, go. I'm like, yeah, dude, we got him. Because I only care. I'd already kind of been through there, so I knew those were kind of like the two big. I'm like, we're just gonna go fishing for the rest of the day. Yeah. I caught one of those perch eaters.
I thought about doing a video on that, but I don't really want to give away too much as far as the whole sight fishing thing. It's more of a bonus fish thing. Todd, I don't know if Todd will agree or disagree. I feel like he kind of is the same way.
Please bring this up in.
I always feel like you need one bonus fish a day. And I'm not even saying casting and catching it. You just need that one lucky fish every day. Whether it's that random blind flip that you catch one off a bed that you didn't see, or like something to go right when you're bed fishing.
You're talking about sight fishing.
Sight fishing.
Like
I've always believed that like you always need that one fish. In my opinion, I always go out there and try to catch 4. If I can catch 4 off a bed, I know for a fact I'm going to catch one doing something completely random, whether it's throwing a popping perch, swim bait, flipping something, whatever. I'm always going to catch one doing something else. And now sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I sent it to you, Holman.
Dude, that guy does win the prize. That's like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Isn't that big? It don't look like
I've never seen anything like that.
It looks like a water dog, but it looks like it's a 4-pounder.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's got a pointed like tail, like it's spiked like the devil.
Yeah, it's the nastiest fish I've ever seen.
I understand what a water dog looks like, but this thing looked a little mutated to me.
And it's got red ears like a demon, dude. This thing is weird looking.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
no, I've always been that person though. I mean, like even that Toledo Bend tournament that Russell won. Day 2, I caught like a 7 or 8-pounder, like in the last 10 minutes on a swim bait.
Okay.
Like I mean, just just those random every once in a while. It doesn't always happen, and not every tournament it happens. But like I feel like there is enough times if you're throwing a popping perch, especially a popping perch. I feel like it happens a lot with popping perch around the spawn. You're gonna catch some bonus fish.
I
Whether
don't
it's a 4 pounder or 2 pounder, whatever it is, I feel like you can always supplement your bag.
in team events, like in team events, yes, because we got some tricks how we'll catch them like while one person's fishing, or we do something even in the morning time though. Man, a lot of times we're going straight to our fit.
Yeah, you're going straight to your fish.
Man, like some of those events, man, I think when they're really on the spawn, I think it's harder and harder to catch them just fishing. I think that's why the sight fishing is so good. I will say one thing that 1,000% is going to come into play at Texoma.
Well, yeah.
Like hands down, it will come into play at Texoma.
I
Yeah.
think we need to add a fish pot on that to where, well, I say that if we're fishing the Oklahoma side, I don't know how good it will be, but maybe add in a biggest smallmouth to that group as well, because that always adds in an element, a different
Listen,
element to it.
listen, we have zero problem. This is what's cool about this event. I fished an event down on Livingston one time, right? Me and my buddy Eddie, we ended up winning it. It was a U.S. filter event. We
Yeah,
got belt buckles, and they were awesome. It's still one of the cool, like there, all these trophies and stuff like that. Screw that. The belt buckle and the freaking in the wrestling belt are like the two best trophies I've ever, like the wrestling belt and the buckle, like the big giant wrestling belt. And
Yeah.
we need to get this. Let me work on this. Let me get something that we need to keep we need to get something to
Well,
fit
yeah.
a trophy that, and then that team gets to keep it until like the next year if we do another
Well,
one.
the next one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me work on that. Let me work on that. But when I fished this US filter event, and it was a 4 fish deal, but you got to weigh in the biggest trash fish. And
Well,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
so I ended up catching I was pretty proud of it. I ended up catching this like 13-pound drum, like it was a pretty big one on a buzz bait that I backlashed, and it fell to the bottom. When I picked up on it, I had one. Lucky fish. Anyways, I was like, "Oh, we got the trash fish in the bag," and I don't know what I was thinking. It's Livingston. I mean, some kid, which is good. I'm glad the kid won. I think he brought in like a 13 or 18-pound catfish op, you know. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'm not saying we're gonna catch some trash fish, but who cares? We can do whatever we want to. We can
Yeah.
we can say a trash fish. We can say smallmouth, largemouth. We can say the big.
I think honestly, I think it would be fun, and I know it adds a different level, and I know
We
we
will
want
go
to go out there.
smallmouth fishing in the morning time if you.
Well, what I'm saying is we could add a lot of different limitations of this, and I know we want to go out and catch 30 pounds, but I think it'd be cool to see who caught the biggest smallmouth, spotted bass, and largemouth,
Yeah, I'm cool with
because it's you have to target
that.
them
Wait,
a little bit different.
is that the whole tournament?
No, I mean we'll do our 5 fish thing, but I think we add that in as the biggest of each category,
Are we
because I mean
are we doing this for money?
I don't know.
I don't care about I say we at least put up money for or
The
something.
5 fish for the 5 fish.
Oh, hold on. We get okay, guys. Anybody watching this?
If
I
you're
don't,
still on.
I don't. Yeah, if you're still on, we're gonna find out. I don't know what I'm thinking here. This is the dumbest idea in the world. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't even say this, guys. If y'all are still watching and comment on this, come up with ideas for us to do. So like, Holman has to either like fish or like the next Bass Angler Therapy has to wear all Texas gear throughout
Oh
the.
my God.
Some.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Are you that scared?
I don't give a shit. I'm just fishing. There's no way in hell I'm wearing anything Texas. That's not gonna happen.
See, no, that's not right. So you're telling me that you're not.
If you lost,
Yeah, he gets close now. If you
oh,
lost,
he's in it. He's in it.
if you lost in this tournament, you got to wear your Texas gear.
No,
That is a. Are you kidding me?
no.
You got to do it for the tube, bro.
Dude, there's going to be a lot of people that freaking like punk you in this and say that I can't believe you're that scared.
Mm,
I
Not
mean,
wearing
I actually
burnt
agree
orange.
with Todd on that one.
Not
I
wearing
want
burnt orange.
everyone in this that is still all three people that are still watching to comment at home and then talk about how scared he is.
Yeah.
Super scared.
Dude, I don't care about people from Austin talking about me being scared. Are you kidding me?
They are not from Austin. They're just going to be.
Oh, they're all Austin lovers. They're tea sippers. I don't care. You can stay in Texas.
Sippers.
Freaking tea
No,
sippers.
they're not. They're not tea sippers.
Oh yeah, they're all off work. They'll be the ones watching your stuff. I mean, all the
No,
blue collar boys are still working.
no. They're unsweet
No one's
tea
working.
sippers. Unsweet. They're
I
not
don't
the
care.
sweet tea sippers.
care.
No.
The hate's true, dude. I mean, we do
So
we do hate, but we do love. Like, you know what I mean? But nah, there's no way in hell I'm wearing orange. Ain't happening ever. No burnt orange.
Hey, how about this, Todd? How about if we
Good.
lose, we'll just play some University of Texas fight song at the beginning of the video.
No, I think I wear a Texas hat.
Like his head
I
might
can handle
melt.
that, dude. It's just that I've been working on a railroad song all day, so I mean that's no big deal.
Yeah.
Play that.
His head might melt, Todd, if
Man,
that
that's
logo hits him.
disappointing, Hallman. I can't believe it. Like, I ain't worried about losing to you. So I mean, I'll you name it.
Oh.
It's not that I'm worried about losing or winning. It's just like I'm not even betting that because.
Well, see, I'm taller than Jason.
I'm being an honest friend here. I'm giving you what I will not do, and what I will not do is I will not wear anything burnt orange.
That's a hard limit with him. Hard limit.
Yeah, I can't believe that's even a big deal.
Dude, he's a season ticket holder of the Sooners, I'm assuming, so he doesn't miss very many games ever.
How about I mean, okay.
And that photo would last forever. Let's be honest. And that would be hung over his head forever.
Mm-hmm.
The internet always wins. Always.
If we do this again, how about this? This is good. This is good.
As long as Todd doesn't take his shirt off.
No.
Hey,
I might have to jump in. You never know. You either have to, depending on where we go and what we do the next tournament, whatever we do, like I have to call, like you'll have to throw one of my baits and I have to throw one of yours. So like if we go flipping somewhere, if we sight fish, I have to throw the BFE the entire tournament.
Okay.
Right.
And then I got to throw the Bubba.
You got to throw a rage bug or the hybrid hunter or something like that, or the
right.
Whatever.
You can clarify. I mean, it might be a pop and perch the whole time.
Yeah, if it's a frog bite, if it's a whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That really upsets him. I can promise you.
That doesn't bother me. I can do that.
No.
Yeah.
Don't bother. I mean, but you still have to do it.
I've been needing an excuse to throw the hybrid hunter for a while now, so that'll probably. You know what I mean?
I don't need an excuse to throw it. I throw it all the time anyway.
I was throwing it the other day and caught some on it. So
did you really?
Oh well, yeah.
What color?
In that video,
he like stone cold.
Yeah. In that video where that guy caught that 9-pounder that I got on there, I was throwing it out. That's what I was.
He just gave away what he was catching them on. By the way,
I wouldn't catch him on that. I only caught
It's okay. It's fine, dude.
I wasn't.
That's good.
I caught 2 big ones. It's not on that.
You should have heard a rant I had to cut out of one of my videos today, dude. It was about and you know when you're editing videos, you're fishing videos, I got Mark Jeffries in the boat, from Bass Talk Live. Mr. Loud, Mr. Brass, Mr. Attitude, Mr. Everything. I'm in the front of the boat, and he's back there just going at it like he does, telling me this, telling me that about this guy and that guy. I'm thinking of you, dude. And I'm thinking, you know how much damn money he's won freaking state of Texas on one freaking bait? Like all them people you're talking about put together ain't made the money that he's made on that one bait. And anyway, I had to cut it out of my video. So, because it was more than just, there was some curse words and stuff involved because I got pretty wild up.
Oh my God. It's funny. Like Todd, you've seen it. When Hallman gets fired up, like he goes 0 to 60, and it's like you don't expect it because he's so quiet, he's so nice, and then he goes there, and you're like, holy crap! Like, is somebody not gonna make it? Like,
I expect it and I see it, and I'm not gonna lie. There's times that I push it. Like,
Oh yeah.
just,
Oh yeah.
just
That was
keep,
part of the whole message thing that we did.
just
Like,
keep picking and keep just, and when I get him there, I can walk away because it's awesome because he stays there for like a
oh
good
yeah.
15 minutes. And I
Yeah.
can just sit back and just smile,
It's
man.
like in the back of his eyes is just fire. He's just fire. I mean, like he's just riled up. Like he is not slowing down whatsoever. It's the best thing
It's
ever.
it's those guys that like we just don't ever say anything, and then we take it, and we take it, and we take it, and then you all build up, and then one person says one thing that like didn't even do anything to you, and you take out everything that's been done to you in the last 6 weeks on one person.
It's like,
Yeah, I really feel bad for the first tournament because I'm gonna be so jacked just to get out and go fish a tournament, like a real tournament. I don't even know what to do with
dude,
myself. Like,
listen,
We got to figure out a way to do it live, and we got to figure out a way to where it's not just all on YouTube and somebody has to wait to watch it. Like
no, we
I
can,
want to release our weights live, and then we can edit, do whatever we
Yeah.
want after that.
yeah. I took Jason out the other day. Jason's been working so much that when we went sight fishing the other day, uh, and I looked at some of the video. We're gonna do it. There's two different parts to the video, but he's like, I ain't caught a sight fish all year. And I'm thinking, I've caught like 200. I just wasn't thinking, he hadn't been out there. So we stopped on the first one, and I'm always bad about that. Like I'll turn around, and as I'm turning around, I'll just look for any other fish on a bed somewhere. I'm like, oh, there's one. So I was sitting in the back of the boat while he was fishing one. I catch one. That one he had was bad. So we go to the next one, same thing. Dude, I caught one on a bottom perch and two sight fishing while he was fishing for one. And then he finally hooks one, he hooks two. And the first two he hooks, he loses both of them. And dude, y'all know me, man. I am dying laughing, man. I mean, and he's like, just getting all mad, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, man. And I'm like messing with him, like, hey man,
We did the same thing the other day. Me and my boy Bronson were fishing, and we were in my boat, and he'd gotten up in the front, and he was fishing, and I had the camera, and it's pointing towards the front. And I'd gone to the back and was just fishing. We just caught a sight fish, a bed fish earlier in the mud, like we're trying to spot him in the mud like laser eyes, and we did. We caught a pretty nice one in the mud, but we go on around this corner on the back of this little drain pocket, like there's going to be some back here spawning. He's back there firing. He throws up, and these bushes are kind of overhanging on the bank, and his bait gets hung up in that bush. And he's up at the top of the water column, and this fish comes up, pretty good fish, 2.5, 3 pounder, smokes at his bait. It's not even in the damn water, it's like right above. And he's like, hey man, get your frog, and skip it up underneath there. Like the camera's pointed right at it. And I'm like, all right. So I get up there. Well, the boat's just a little bit too far to the right, for that right hand under roll skip cast. Like there's a trolling motor, and then there's a stick, and then like it's just not the right angle. But we're power pole down, and I'm fighting it, and I'm fighting it, and I'm fighting it. And I'm just like, if I can just get the perfect slide right up underneath there, just right up in there, I'm going to get this great shot of a 3 pounder eating this frog, He goes to the back of the boat, does just what you're talking about. I'm up there, I'm hitting the log, I'm hitting the trolling motor, I'm hitting everything, but not getting the right cast. And I hear him go, got one. Oh, it's a big one. He went in the back of the boat and just made a flip. I said, I flipped everything back there before you even went. And he goes, yeah, I seen one. I thought I saw it sitting up at the top of that bush right there. He saw that black shadow in the mud and flipped over and caught it. Damn it. 6 pounder.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, mine
It
were
was.
not
It was,
big.
it was best fish of the day.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
And
good.
I finally slide the frog. Finally get it up underneath there. Pop it twice. Doesn't freaking get it. And then she won't come back and hit it.
I'll say Jason got me back later that day because as I was sight fishing and frogging, we were sight fishing, we were frogging, and then we were out there trying to catch crappie too. And this place is kind of different to catch crappie, so we were trying to fit. We know how to catch them in May, but not now. This was how lakes set up different. And I was trying to catch him, and I was out there at the right depth, and he goes to freaking smashing on some like big ones. Like he had caught a couple throughout the day doing this, but I finally got out there at the right water depth, and he goes to catching them. I mean, one after another, and big ones like 5s and 6s, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? And anyways, whatever he kind of halfway figured out, I have done 3 times since, one with him, and we have not had less than 25 pounds. And
Wow.
it is,
That's
and
why I'm not challenging you to that lake and letting you do that.
in less than 2 hours. All we do it is for like 2 or 3 hours at the end of the day and just go do it. And yeah, now I think they were mainly pre-spawners. They were still
Yeah.
pre-spawners. So I don't know how good it is now. You can catch fish, but man, all of our big ones were pre-spawners. Even
Wow.
though there's almost no fish on beds, like it's kind of a weird deal. Like we don't see any big ones on beds, but they're all blowed out. You can tell they are clean and have.
I want to go do that so bad. I want to come down to Texas so bad. It's been so bad.
I don't even want to tell you what it's on.
I already know what it's on. You already told me.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I want to go, because it's just right up my wheelhouse of things I like to do.
It's big ones too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, Holman, we're missing the boat on that deal right now. We're up here in Oklahoma fishing the mud.
Y'all are invited for all this stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, yeah, but
y'all are trying to catch sight fish right now, and I'm about to be on the next times I go are all going to be shad spawn and perch bed fish. Like,
I've got one video I've got to get out tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get it done early tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get up early and try to get it done so I can go fish tomorrow afternoon, because it's supposed to be 70 degrees.
Yeah, but it's gonna blow tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, but I haven't been to Arbuckle yet, because Arbuckle has got 5 bazillion people on it.
Yeah.
And so with my YouTube videos, I've kind of been running around all year on these little bitty lakes in the state, which honestly, the coronavirus kind of allowed me to do that, because we've always been on the big lakes, just like you guys down there in Texas. And I always include you in Texas, Andrew, and I'm sorry for that.
I'm thankful. Like, thankful.
You can halfway put him in Louisiana. He's only about freaking 10 miles from it.
Not even.
Yeah.
But
like a mile and a half, 2 miles.
Anyway, it's allowed me to go out and play with some small lakes here in the state. So what I'm doing is I'm just jumping around the lakes that I've never even seen before in my life, which I enjoy seeing new water and breaking them apart. Which, by the way, I found one last week that was just last weekend, like 4 days ago. It's just straight fire. But Arbuckle's got like 4 boats. There's like each pocket is, swear to God, it's the size of a garage, like a 2 or 3 car garage, some of those pockets. And there's like 3 boats in each one of them. I mean, it's just a merry-go-round. I haven't even been there. I've heard this from other people. I just have no interest. But a friend of mine, Jared Miller, they had a little tournament down there off to the side, Crete and a bunch of guys, and I wasn't able to make it. But they ended up doing the MLS style. But Jared's 5 best weighed 37 pounds, and he didn't win because it was an MLS style. But he would. Reynolds won it.
Well, these lakes you're talking about, and we got to go here in a second, but these lakes we're talking about, are they, how far are they from you? I mean, these are public lakes?
Yeah.
These are public lakes. So, like, I had to figure out, once I started figuring out, kind of where the pressure was, I started going the other direction. So I drive anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half away from my house.
Oh, okay. So they're not like 20 minutes away. I mean,
No, some of them might be, but most of them are about an hour and a half, hour and a half.
I live in central Oklahoma, and like for me, the lakes stop basically where my house is where bass fishing basically.
Right.
I'm not gonna say stops, but there's not many reservoirs west of me. It's all east.
Yeah.
The Rocky Mountains come off there, and it's the plains, and there's some little lakes, but like mostly everything's east, and then they start getting bigger. And that's all the way north and all the way south of me too. All the way down to where you live is kind of that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's for everybody that's sitting there watching this. Like, don't just like, we're all kind of stuck indoors right now. Like, go try something else. Like, you don't have to go fish the same lake every day. Like, go find a body of water. Todd and Hallman have both posted really good YouTube videos about breaking down water and going to new lakes that they've never seen before. Like, go do it. Who cares? Like, right now, like, this is a perfect opportunity to go try something new. Go try a new body of water. Like, I mean, why not? I know I've been doing it. I've been going to new lakes I've never been to. It's been a blast.
Part of what's always happened in our careers is that we've been forced to go to Rayburn and Toledo and Grand Lake and Eufaula, and Texoma, because that's where the money is. That's where we've always gone, because we're not YouTubers. We're tournament fishermen, and we've always had to go to the big lake. So if we had any free time, even growing up when we were younger, we still spent most of our free time on the lakes that we could learn something that might help us later on to make more money, right? I mean, we're all
Absolutely.
three the same.
Well, the only difference is Todd, where he lives, is there's so many really good small lakes that you can catch giants on, like pretty much year round.
Like
So he's fished a lot of the mid-size to larger lakes that you never see tournaments on, but
and they're like, that's why I don't go to Rayburn. Like everyone
yeah,
thinks I went to Rayburn because I had to the other day. I have
yeah,
not gone because I wanted to or for fun.
yeah,
Like that.
Right.
Like I did enjoy it the other day because I got to like there was no pressure of I had my best day the other day. Like I had a giant bag. I had a really big bag, but it
not
was
a Danny Owl's bag.
no, but a giant bag for April.
Yeah,
And get this, um, I I I don't I'm not I would lie if I say we caught 40 in a row, but at the end of the day, the guy that was with me, we power pulled down and we caught over 40 to 50 a piece sitting in one spot throwing in 3 foot of water. I would not say they were in a row. But I would if we threw 40 times, 35 of those casts either we got bit on or we caught a fish.
yeah,
So I mean, it was pretty cool. And that was after already having a big giant. Like none of those fish were entered in, but when we caught some 3 and 4 pounders in there, and it
yeah,
was man,
Yeah.
I don't get to do stuff like any. There's 2 things, right? One is if you found that, it would be worthless, right, in an event, in a tournament, and
yeah.
because it was probably an end of the day type deal, and none of them were over.
Well, even if it was a bunch of 3 and 4 pounders, like
You had to go through so many of them to get.
yeah, yeah,
And like I said, I already had a decent bag that day, so none of them would have helped. I will say we got into a conversation about MLF, and this is definitely not a dog on it, but the guy that was with me was learning some stuff, and I was showing him how to catch what I would do to catch a giant bag on Rayburn. Like this is what I would do, right? And we went out there with no practice, no nothing, and I showed him the steps that I would take to do this, right? Like
yeah.
figuring it out, and I figured
Were
it out.
you guiding on Rayburn that day or what?
Huh?
Were you guiding?
No, I was taking a guy who really doesn't fish that much, a buddy I know. So
Okay.
when we did it, we caught these fish or whatever, and at the end of the day, this happened, and he likes MLF and was talking about it, and when we were talking about it, I said, here, the only thing I have a problem with not a problem with the MLF is what I could sit on that spot, dude. No one on Rayburn's beat me like that for 2 hours. It won't, dude. I would have caught 100 pounds, right?
Yeah.
No problem. Like it was, dude. I was throwing a sexy, a baby sexy dog, and they were hitting it when it hit. I would get some on and like be reeling them under the water right when they would eat, and if I lost one, the sexy dog wouldn't even come up. Like another one would
Yeah,
jump
no,
on it
need it.
before it
Yeah,
ever floated back up. Like
Wow.
that happened 2 or 3 times sometimes. Like it was that kind of deal. And he was just throwing a jerk bait, and I was like, dude, I could throw anything in there. My point is that what I had done earlier was figure out. I caught like an 8 and a 9 that day. I had some 4s and 5s. I had like 29 pounds, 28 to 29 pounds, and he was like, I showed him. He was like, man, this is awesome, right? This is really cool. This is like how you pattern them. This is what's going on different sections of the lake. I was breaking it all down, and I mean, I was even learning like, okay, I could go fish a tournament tomorrow and know exactly what's going on.
yeah,
And I said, to me, I was pretty excited, right? And if I get excited, y'all know me. Like I was like, man, this is pretty cool, right?
Right.
And I felt like I had done something that day, like I had really accomplished something, and I would have got beat by myself. Dude, I could have thrown a rooster tail, I could have thrown a roadrunner, I could have thrown a spook, I could have thrown a swim, I could have thrown anything out there and caught fish and beat what I had learned and go. Uh, I'm not knocking MLF, but this is by no means because I think they've done a lot better job. But I was just going, that would have sucked because, in my opinion, everything I've learned in fishing was to do what I did earlier. That was just I rolled up on a spot where they were freaking doing it, in 3 foot of water, and all I did was just power pole down. And I could have thrown
Right.
anything out there. And to be honest with you, if anyone in the boat with me that had about 6 months worth of fishing experience would have still won the exact same tournament.
Right.
And it was not like I found them like obvious. I mean, I saw them schooling from like a couple hundred yards away and drove over there and power pole down on them, and it was phenomenal. Like some of the best I'd ever seen. But I don't really think that there's a lot of talent that goes along in that. And I'm not knocking anything that's going on. Me and him, I'm serious. We were having it. He was
I
talking about
just smiled. I didn't say anything.
well, because the guy that was with me was so, he was even saying it. He was like,
Hey.
this really doesn't, and he does, he's just gotten into fishing. He was like, this really doesn't take a lot of skill. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Miller was the same way, dude. He came home and he called me that night after that tournament. Basically, it was like 10 pros, a couple Elite Series guys, ex-Elite Series guys, some MLF guys, and it was kind of an invitation-only deal. And
I didn't even get invited.
They threw down on Arbuckle, and
you still won.
Anyway, it was what it was. But Jared didn't get win, and it was winner take all. And he calls me, and he's all down and out, like he, I didn't have a good day, and I'm like, dude, you caught a 37-pound bag in Oklahoma, like 5 fish, 37 pounds, like you crushed on them. He's like, I know, but I still didn't win. I'm like, dude, you won. I mean, it's that. And I think they went with 1 pound minimum. So I don't know if Reynolds had a fish over 4 pounds the entire event, but he won.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate aspect of that system. And I mean, it's not a bad system. It's just a different system.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. Like, it kind of takes that whole mentality out. Now, granted, we haven't really been able to judge off tournaments the last few weeks. But, you look at some of the ones they've had in the past month or two.
The 2 pound minimum helped.
It definitely helped. Yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, and we saw the Red Crest got announced for Grand Lake, and I talked to Bradley the other day about it, and don't know how that's really going to shake out.
Maybe that's why Bass got kicked out of Oklahoma. I don't know, but I heard that the Classic was up there at one time, and then money fell out, and now they've got it. So I don't know.
And I never went public about MLF stuff ever because I just whatever. But y'all know behind the scenes. When everyone asked me about MLF, I'm like, guys, if they just went to a 2 pound average, 2 pound minimum, I said this from day one. I said, if they just went to a 2 pound minimum, y'all can vouch for this. I said this.
Yeah, you said it.
Before they ever even fished a tournament, I said, if they just go to a 2 pound minimum, it would fix almost 75% of their problems.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's what I was always so down on them. I was like, why are they being so hard-headed about not wanting to do it? Do you remember? Because they were like, we're not going to change it. And I was going, and that really threw me off. That's why I had so many ill will to the fact of like, that's a really good, I'm saying it's my suggestion. I'm just going, how is this a bad idea? And they're just like, nope. They drew the line in the sand and they were so committed. We're like, we're going to go this way and this. And I'm like, well, and I know they changed, but we don't know that they're going to change, right? So as I'm looking at it as a fan, as a person who might want to fish at one time, and I'm like, man, y'all aren't even considering this. And then all of a sudden they did change it. But at the time, they wonder why everyone was – I can tell you why I was upset. I was like, well, if you're not even going to consider it and you're so like drew the line, I'm like, why would I want to be a part of that? Because I'm like, this is something that I just want to be a part of organizations that are always striving to get better, not – this is our way and this is the highway type deal. And I'm glad that they did it because I think it's gonna
we need that for the fishing industry.
Yeah.
We need them to succeed. I mean, that's the whole point to this matter. And I've been very adamant about it. I'm on the side of the anglers in this situation. I want my friends and fellow competitors, old school competitors, to do well. I want them to. Even if they don't want me to do well, that's fine. I don't really care. But I want them to do well. I want everybody to do well. I want everybody to succeed. And I want this industry to keep going. Now, granted, this coronavirus crap has really put a damper on this industry right now. I mean, I know you've seen some of Mark Zona stuff that's going on in Michigan. And
it's insane what's going on up there.
Yeah. And I mean, but the reality is that's It's just where we're at right now. And I know that's, hey, everybody's on this Second Amendment, First Amendment. This goes against my rights and this whatever, and
I
that's
will say
fine.
that I've seen some of that in Oklahoma too. That I've been out.
Absolutely, there is.
There's the party boats and the party beaches and all
They're
that.
taking
I
advantage
get
of it,
it.
and that's just the
Get it.
whole. I mean,
Yep.
they ran into it in Florida too. I mean, that was a big deal in Florida.
There's
You know?
a difference between making it's just like I'll put it to this way. Everyone was making a comment about all these things, and they had the grocery store and Lowe's and
Yeah.
places like that where there's hundreds of people. And I finally went. I mean, I go grocery shopping now like once every 2 weeks, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we just you know, I
Yeah.
usually go 3 days a week. Now I just go whatever. And I went this morning because I finally like had to go back again. And I walked in and I was like, oh, finally, like someone was out there counting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's about time. Not that I care about that, you know, because I roll in there, like I'm not too stressed about any of this, but it was like, well, if you're going to make all these other changes, at least for this part, make it smart, right? Like don't.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, Holman, is if you're going to do all this, the problem with the legislation that they're trying to pass, or not the legislation, but the problem with the rules they're trying to pass on the outboards doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And that's the problem I have with it. I understand people taking advantage of it. We'll get the people that are taking advantage of it, you know, and jump on them, but don't jump or try to go after the father and son out there on the lake enjoying the day.
I agree.
If you want to, you know, and banning outboard motors only.
Yeah, and you can go out and kayak, you can go and paddleboard, you do all these other things, but you can't go out on a boat.
And they made excuses about having to go put fuel in it. Dude, I have put fuel in my boat once in a month because I keep on going to the same little lakes and I burn a gallon a day and it holds 53 gallons. I can go a whole nother month without putting gas in my boat. I'm not doing any of that. I don't speak to anyone. I actually keep to myself more than I ever have. But my point is like, okay, what about the guy that has his boat on like they said, he's got his boat on the boat dock on the shore, and now he can't go out there because they say he's going to have to go get gas and all these and hanging out at the boat ramp. Well, that didn't affect him, and that's my issue. Is that like they're making stupid rules because they think these things are going on, and I'm like,
well, I mean, that's why we have game wardens. Like, if they're really worried about that, about the partiers, send a group of game wardens out there and have them check everybody. They already do it anyway. Like, and if they're breaking the rules, then fine them or send them home or whatever. Like, don't punish everybody.
I've seen some swim beaches and stuff when I'm just running down the lake that's got,
but
you know, 12 to 15, 16, 20 people on them, and they're all together, and, you know, kids
and that's wrong. Like
everybody all together, and you just know that they're not all siblings and they haven't all been together.
Listen,
like my bunch hadn't been out of the house. Like I don't go anywhere. I'm like, I've been really serious about this. I fished with Mark Jeffries, and Mark has an existing problem. He just had a heart attack not too long ago, and so he's been around no one. He does his show, and then I've been nowhere. So like I know he's not infected. I'm not infected, and we go fishing. That's it.
We were all going to get together, and we decided all not to. I mean. And we're still not going to. I mean, we're still going to have this tournament, and I'll never see all that Texoma. Like, I'll never even see all that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be fishing with Hallman, but, like, I literally haven't been anywhere. Like, I've been at the house or in my boat. Like, that's just where I –
with my wife or my kids every day, you know, like Jason. Jason's the only guy I've been with, but it's only been Jason, and me and him have been – like we talked about, we've been around each other every a couple of days every week anyway. So it's almost like we've been quarantined together. But my whole deal with all that stuff too is that I just don't understand why they're just making inconsistent rules about things that don't really make any sense. And
they're allowing governors to make the decisions on a lot of that stuff. And that's I mean, it's not a problem because I feel like it's a case-by-case basis on what's going on and how effective your region is and things like that. But, like,
bass fishermen are to blame, too. Let me tell you something. I showed up to Rayburn the other day and went in there to get some ice. Like I said, I didn't need to get gas. I just went in there to get some ice, and they only let 6 people in at the store, which was fine. I rolled up in there. course, it took freaking 45 minutes while I was in there, I swear, because
Right.
Zavala,
Right.
and they don't know how to count change. But I finally got out of there, and there's like 14 trucks and boats in there. And
Did it smell like cigarette smoke when you went through?
it smelled like cigarette smoke freaking when I was on the highway before I even pulled up there. But my
The boys that watch this show that are like from Canada and stuff, they don't realize that like Zavala, Texas, this gas station, like the girl ringing, she's got 2 of them lit, burning in an ashtray, and 1 in her mouth while she's ringing you.
And there's like normally there's
5 old guys in the back, and they're all smoking.
There's only one, so they only let 6 people. They say they only let 6 people in, but they only can let 4 in because one of them's working and one of them's smoking. The other one's smoking. Anyways, I don't even want to get into that. So you get out there and you smell your ice, like your ice smells like smoke. It's horrible. So I didn't even want to stop there, but I just forgot the ice. So as I roll out, there's like, I swear I don't want to exaggerate, but there's at least I almost didn't get out of there. There's 9 trucks and boats. And I don't know, all I'm telling you is all the trucks and boats look the same. And they weren't high dollar rigs. They weren't low dollar rigs. They were that like mid-level club. There was that weird, it's just, you could tell. And they all came at the same time. And they all, when you were looking at them, they were all talking. And I go, I didn't say anything, man.
We're having a derby.
But I wanted to look at them and go, y'all are going to be the reason we don't get to fish on Rayburn. Because there are 1,000% there for a club tournament. They're going to do some little club tournament on some boat ramp. And they're going to be like, oh, we did this where we stood 6 feet. No, man. You're going to be able to tell that 18 to 20 people are all hanging around each other. And I said, y'all are going to be the reason we get kicked off Rayburn. And it really pissed me off because I'm like, we want to fish tournaments. This is our job. We want to do it with someone else. And the only way we're fishing a tournament is the way we're doing it, 2-on-2.
Yeah.
We're not, and we're not even going to see each other throughout the day.
We're not going to weigh in. We're not going to do any of that crap.
And they're probably doing it for $50. And I'm like, y'all are going to get it all. You're going to get us all kicked off the lake because y'all want to have a $50 tournament.
Yeah. I've seen nothing but Bass Club. It's been absolutely ridiculous. The amount of Bass Club and small little jackpots that have been rolling out in Texas and Oklahoma, especially in the last like 2 months or month and a half, however long we've been in quarantine. It feels like 5 months, but however long.
Some of them are doing it like what we're doing, like 2-on-2.
Yeah, I know that one. I know the one you're talking about. I'm talking about true, like
where
you're seeing a crowd of them together taking pictures of fish, and I'm just like, come on, guys, like be smart. You're putting it on the internet. There's like even if 5,000 people see it, the chances of them reporting it to somebody that actually matters is pretty good. And you're ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't look smart.
Yeah, you can't. It's the same thing I was talking about, like being hypocritical about like fake news and this. You can't sit there and say, oh, these beachgoers and all these partiers are ruining it for us when you're doing the exact same thing, just a different style. Like you're still gathering up and doing the exact same thing.
And that's why I wanted it when Hallman said that. Like I've seen the same thing. Hallman, like they're patrolling Rattlesnake Island on Rayburn and some other places. But I'm with you. I just want to make it a point. Hey, it ain't just I will freaking jump on bass fishermen too. Some of them are and it just pisses me off because I'm like,
well, Arbuckle's the same way. So like those guys are getting down there, and a friend of mine told me that Arbuckle has a massive parking lot. I mean, it's probably, honest to God, so you guys can relate, it is bigger than the parking lot at Rayburn for sure that we put in at. That's not Twin Dykes. What's the name of that? Humphreys Pavilion? Humphreys, however y'all say that. It's bigger. It's bigger than it and the overflow up the hill, not through the woods and on the other side, but it's bigger than it and up the hill. Now, Arbuckle is like 3,000 acres, 2,500 acres. Okay, so we're not talking about Rayburn-sized lake. We're talking about a pond here. And the boat ramp's already bigger than that. And the guys that I know that have gone have told me that thing is full at 8:30 in the morning, and they're parking up on the highway to get in this thing. So you can imagine what the fishing pressure's like, right? I mean, it's insane. And that's only one ramp. There's 3 ramps on this lake, and that's only one of them.
Jeez. But I've heard it everywhere. And unfortunately, that's Like I went to Okmulgee the other day. I went to Dripping Springs, a couple very very small lakes,
How was the
real
boat ramp at
similar.
Dripping Springs?
Oh, it was packed all the way out to the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally like I mean this is a tiny ramp, but like I mean it was packed, dude, and like literally like I idle out into the lake. I've never been there before. I idle out in the lake, and I counted 15 boats, and I was idling out into the lake. And this is a
So,
tiny lake,
so
tiny
that new
lake.
lake, so that new lake that I found that I said straight fire that I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
anybody where it is. I got there at 9:30 on a weekend, and there were 3 trucks.
That's
3.
awesome.
Yeah.
I saw one bass fisherman all day long
Yeah,
in that
don't
place.
say nothing.
Straight fire.
You might
There's
have
no,
it for a year or two. But don't say nothing.
You might
well,
need
I
to
got to do a
text me and
YouTube
let me
video
know.
on it. I got to do a YouTube video on it, but I'm not saying what it is. I'm just
Well, where's it at? Just send it to me and I'll go fish it for you. Don't worry.
no.
I won't post it on YouTube. That's sorry right there. My team partner won't even tell me where it's at.
Yeah, no.
Bass fisherman for you.
I might run it by you when we're in the boat together, but that's it.
All you,
Dang.
You
all
can make
you
some
cool,
videos on it too.
all you cool kittens and cats. It's about time to go.
All right, guys.
All right, Bubba.
Hey, y'all have a good evening. Have fun.
I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man.
All right, we'll see.
All right. Peace.